Sanal, I do want to talk about the courses because I know you've talked briefly about the admission process, but we actually haven't told people about the courses, and I think that is probably something I want to, really focus on. So there's two courses that lead to New Zealand teachers registration, ECE only. One, which is probably the most sought after, is the graduate diploma in ECE. I'm going to ask you some questions around it. And then the second one is the bachelor's degree, which is a 3-year degree in ECE. Let's start out with the grad dip, which is by far, I believe, the most popular program. Am I right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So what sort of people are you looking? Because, mind you, that these people we are focusing on people within New Zealand borders, that may have had their degrees or may have just finished their high school. What are the entry requirements for a grad dip really quickly?
Yeah, so graduate diploma in teaching, EC level 7 qualification, it leads to Teachers Council registration. So the basic entry requirements, what we follow is set by Teaching Council, but also by NZQA. So that they need to hold a bachelor's degree of 3 years, any stream or any major. It's not they need to. It's not required that they need to have an arts or education or something related. It can be any graduate, any bachelor's degree, or 3 years, or master's degree 2 years. But it needs to be assessed by NZQA, IQA at level 7. So they have to do full NZQA assessment report. So they can do 3 years bachelor's degree at level 7 or master's degree 2 years at level 9. So that's a basic academic entry requirement to enroll into a graduate diploma. Then they also have to meet our English language requirements. So the English language requirements they need to meet is set by the Teaching Council and NZQA, which is Ielts, IELTS academic, one of the English language tests, quite popular with international students, IELTS or PTE. So the IELTS requirement band is 7 in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. PTE, the required band is 65 in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But the great thing is you need not have to achieve those scores in one sitting,
So
which means the students can go ahead and do multiple IELTS or do multiple PTE. And or the third option is we can also combine the scores of IELTS and PTE as well. So, for example, if you have a student who scored 7 in reading and writing, but listening and speaking, she scored 6.5, she can actually go for the PTE test and score 65 in listening and speaking. So we can actually accept combined scores of IELTS and PTE as long as they both are valid, and they meet NZQA Rule 18. So there's a great flexibility about the language test. In terms of English language requirements. And of course, after that, they have to make sure that they pass our interview. There is a literacy and numeracy test, which they have to do as part of the interview. And this is required.
Testing, they still have to pass your internal testing?
Yes, it's a literacy and numeracy test. It's a basic test which is required by Teaching Council to ensure that our teachers, our wannabe teachers, have the required literacy skills and maths numeracy skills as well. So we do it as part of the interview as well. So when they do
online? Does this happen online, Sanal? Is this online, digitally done? So you don't need the student to come?
So what happens is when we were at the campus, the students used to come at a campus and sit for the tests. But currently what we're doing is it's all online. So we send them the test questions and answers, and they reply back with the answers as well. So we're doing it online right now because we understand the situation. Other option is if they're already working in an EC center, the center manager can supervise them on the test, which they can do it while they're working as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And after that, the file goes through selection, and we ensure that if the student meets all the requirements and fit to be a teacher, then we issue them the offer letter and invoice.
Yeah. And obviously, we as NZTC's education partner, what we do is we make sure that the application that we submit to NZTC is complete. You meet the requirements, you meet, the dots are matched. And then obviously, we also are the immigration advisors on the application. So we make sure that you meet the immigration requirements, because you can clearly see that if those dots are not matched and your documents not complete, it's just going to drag out the process and possibly lead to a declined admission as well. So yeah, so that's that.